Satawu's Gauteng Provincial Secretary, Chris Nkosi, was assassinated a night before he could table what fellow members say was an explosive report on the misuse of union funds, allegedly by its General Secretary, Zenzo Mahlangu. 5 bullets were pumped into Nkosi's body on the N17 highway near Germiston, killing him instantly. Today, Gift Ndwandwe occupies the late Chris Nkosi's position. He was Satawu's head of security at the time of Nkosi's assassination. 2 members of the union who cannot be identified for their safety say Ndwandwe was actually Chris Nkosi's bodyguard and had been with him hours before his murder.
We were told in meetings that he was the first man on the scene of crime where Chris was shot, was gunned down. Then to us, it makes us believe that how possible, how did Gift knew that this thing is going to happen, whereas he was supposed to have cut the guy.
Ndwandwe disputes the claim he was Nkosi's bodyguard at the time. However, he provided this explanation for being first at the crime scene.
How did we discover that Chris has died? It was after when Chris' colleague called the bodyguard to say they've been looking for Chris. They can't get hold of Chris. When the bodyguard used my phone to call Chris, the phone was answered by the police officer who was on the scene, and he says, "I've answered the call because the number is written head of security. This man has been shot here." And then that's how we got to know that Chris has been shot, and he gave us the directions. We then rushed quickly to the crime scene.
Ndwandwe's story is backed up by this man who says he was Nkosi's bodyguard at the time, and he had used the head of security's phone to call Chris Nkosi.
Because ngangena airtime by the time, safonela that phone, sathola ukuthi ifone ibanjwa iboys abesazisa ukuthi uComrade Chris usekalimele.
3 years on, police are still no closer to arresting anyone for Nkosi's murder.
The lead that we are following, we are hopeful that they will lead us to the suspects. We cannot at this stage say who we are pursuing, but yes, we have earmarked some suspects, but we can't just pounce on them before you collect necessary evidence.
Ndwandwe maintains he had nothing to do with the assassination, but the whistleblowers point to his quick rise in the ranks. They say Ndwandwe's close relationship with General Secretary Zenzo Mahlangu propelled him to the top without following Satawu's constitution.
The constitution says 4 years. The General Secretary was supposed to have said, no, this man he does not qualify to be the Provincial Secretary. Besides that, now that the General Secretary is being deported, and Gift is also from Zim.
How do you know that Gift is from Zimbabwe?
You can hear his tone. It's the way he speaks. It's just coming from the security company called G4S. Some of his colleagues in our company, in our local, they say he's coming from Zim. And we're challenging the department to squash where he was born.
When asked about his origins, Ndwandwe was not pleased.
I think, my leader, I come from KZN, but I was in a view that the interviews regarding the death of Comrade Chris.
I'm aware, that's why I asked, if you don't mind me asking.
Okay, well, I do mind, my leader.
We also questioned him about Mahlangu's whereabouts.
Are you aware that he has been deported from the country?
Well, I know that he's on leave. He'll be back at work very soon. He has taken a family. They just went for leave. That's what I know.
In April, Home Affairs found out that Satawu boss Zenzo Mahlangu had obtained his South African citizenship fraudulently. When confronted about this, Mahlangu made a special plea to Home Affairs officials.
When we had to deport him, he says, no, don't deport me through Lindela process. I am prepared to buy a ticket myself, and then I will travel back to Zimbabwe myself. If Mr. Mahlangu is back in the country, cross through a borderline, he is illegal, and if we can get hold of him, we'll arrest him.
Zenzo Mahlangu is not allowed to set foot in South Africa for 5 years because he's violated the country's immigration laws. But the whistleblowers say they have reason to believe that he's been here a few times since his deportation, and that's why they fear for their lives. They say 58 million rand of union funds has still not been accounted for. The whistleblowers are pleading with the umbrella body Cosatu to intervene because Satawu is imploding. Johannesburg.